Radio Nacional Río Grande, presentamos un espacio dirigido a los habitantes de habla inglesa de nuestras Islas Malvinas.
Now, on the public radio, Malvinas Encounter, a common space with news that brings us closer to the Malvinas archipelago, broadcast from the Tierra del Fuego Islands in the south of the world, with Fernando Farías.
The US, Russia, France, Portugal, Japan, important countries of the many in which RAI can be tuned into on the international service of the Argentine radio.
The Argentina's public national radio brings you now the news. The temperature in Buenos Aires is 12.4 Celsius, slightly cloudy skies. Rio Grande, Tierra del Fuego province, 3.6 Celsius, but the feel like is minus 1.7 Celsius with rains. And in Puerto Argentino, Malvinas Islands, Tierra del Fuego province, 2.3 Celsius, the feel like is minus 1.8 with cloudy skies. And the minimum wage hike is now official. The measure announced last week by President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner was published today in the official Gazette, meaning that it entered into force. The Minimum Wage Council gathered last week for the 10th consecutive year to discuss specifically this hike and agreed on increasing the reference salary floor from 2,800 pesos to 3,600. And ministers have signed an accord on human rights violations accused health treatment. Agustín Rossi, defense minister, and his health and justice peers, Juan Mansur and Julio, alike respectively, endorsed an agreement today by which a commission integrated by representatives of the three portfolios is created to assess the health condition of those accused of crimes against humanity and thus recommend courses of action for each specific case. The committee will start acting right away, scrutinizing the situation of all human rights violations prosecuted, accused or sentenced who are admitted in military hospitals. This is a result of the escape of two former officers, Jorge Olivera and Gustavo de Marchi, who were transferred to Buenos Aires and broke away from the Cosme Argerich military hospital. In connection with that, the head of the penitentiary service dismissed the federal judiciary ordered the relocation of the two prisoners and asked for a deep, thorough investigation into the responsibility of the judge who gave the order to transfer De Marchi and Oliveira to Buenos Aires. Tourism hiked 2 to 3% during winter holidays. Enrique Meyer, the tourism minister, said that 95% of Argentine holiday makers chose a domestic destination during the mid-year recess. The official, who said the final figures about the vacaciones de invierno, the winter holidays, will be released this Friday, anticipated that the northern part of the country was the winter season's star. He specifically was mentioning the part of the country that includes Salta, Jujuy, Tucumán, Catamarca and La Rioja. Primary elections, 13 days to go. Daniel Filmus, the first candidate to the Senate for the city of Buenos Aires on the ruling party FPV tickets, asked the Buenos Aires City Mayor Mauricio Macri's political force, right-leaning PRO, to debate on TV. He also said on an interview today, neighbors tell us, quote-unquote, they are concerned about the breakdown of the city's infrastructure, the former national education minister affirmed. Also in the city, the infighting continues in the center-left UNEN group, the only one presenting several tickets at the primary under the same name. After one of the pre-candidates to the lower house, Elisa Carrillo, criticizes UNEN mates Alfonso Prat Gay, Martín Lustó, and Rodolfo Terranio, who are also pre-candidates competing against Carrillo in the primary. Prat Guy said, "We don't just want to be serial denouncers. We are building with an eye put on the future." Carrillo had criticized Prat Guy and Terranio for not supporting 100% his denunciation on corruption. In other election-related news, Sergio Massa, who's running for his political party Renewal Front in the province of Buenos Aires, presented proposals he wants to implement regarding security and anti-crime fighting. For example, he's proposing to make harder laws to punish drug lords who would receive life sentences if this proposal by Massa advances. The Senate will debate anti-domestic violence law. A plenary integrated by the Justice, Labor and Budget Commissions of the Upper House will debate a bill aimed at eliminating this type of violence. Another project will be studied to penalize those who hire sexual services when there is human trafficking involved. Aerolíneas Argentinas and the Health Ministry signed a deal to guarantee organ transportation. This way, transplant operations free of charge will remain feasible. Federal government's official communique said Aerolíneas Argentinas is a state-run flag carrier of Argentina. More than 11 million kids went back to school today. This is related to what we were saying about the winter recess. The holiday period is over in half of the country, whereas the other half started and ended their vacaciones a week before. Students in Buenos Aires City and province, Catamarca, Chaco, Entre Ríos, Formosa, Jujuy, La Pampa, Misiones, Salta, Santiago del Estero and Tierra del Fuego have started their second semester today. We continue now with our regular sports review. Football, River defeated Racing Club of Avellaneda 4-2 in penalty kicks after a 1-on-1 draw in the 90 minutes in a game corresponding to the Winter Challenge Cup. It's a series of friendly matches ahead of the beginning of the final of the initial tournament that will begin in early August. The goals of the match were scored by Leonardo Miglionico for Racing Club and Manuel Lanzini for River Plate. Moving on to tennis, Juan Martín del Potro and Carlos Berlocq, two of the three best-ranked Argentine players according to the ATP list, held their places in the list this week. Del Potro, who is going to take part in the Washington ATP as from this Wednesday, kept his 7th place, while Berlocq is still number 43. But Juan Mónaco from Argentina dropped one place from the 30th to the 31st, but he remains the second best ranked Argentine player according to the ATP. In other tennis news, Leonardo Mayer, also from Argentina, defeated Francis Kenny de Shepa for a double 6-4, and this way he moved to the second round of the Kitzbühel Open in Austria that is disputed on clay. And finally, we've got volleyball. Argentina's national team lost to Greece 3-0 in a game corresponding to the third date of the B group in the female under-18 World Cup that is held in Thailand. The Little Panthers, which is the nickname of Argentina's female under-18 national volleyball team, had a promising debut with Japan with a victory 3-0, but then they lost to Poland 3-2, and that's why the match of tomorrow versus China is going to be crucial for the chances of Argentina, since both China and Argentina have 4 points each. The temperature in Buenos Aires, city capital of Argentina, is 12.4 with a slightly cloudy skies. In Rio Grande, the southernmost part of the country, Tierra del Fuego province, 3.6 Celsius. The feel like is -1.7, and it's raining down there in Rio Grande. In Puerto Argentino, Malvinas Islands, also Tierra del Fuego province, the temperature is 2.3 Celsius, but the feel like is -1.8 with cloudy skies. And these were the news brought to you by Argentina's Public National Radio's Overseas Service. Jorge Falcone, our technician, put the show on the air. The news are written by Gustavo Rios. The coordination is by Marcelo Chilo Ayala. I am Fernando Farias.
No matter how varied the language, the true essence is local. RAI, the international service of the Argentine radio. A unique signal from our domestic broadcaster.
Este fue el boletín informativo dirigido a los habitantes de habla inglesa de nuestras Islas Malvinas por Radio Nacional Río Grande, la radio pública.